Chris Lytle here with another video knowledge bite about one of the 12 axioms in the Accidental Salesperson. How to take control of your sales career and earn the respect and income you deserve. This is axiom number 5. Call what you do exactly what it is. Having an accurate view of what you're really doing every day is a powerful success force. And now for the corollary. By counting the things that count, you establish ratios to make the right decisions about the activities you need to be doing more of or less of. Now, this is John Waters. John was a client and a good friend of mine. He was managing classic radio in London. And one day he and I were discussing this idea. John shared that idea with his sales team, and the next time we spoke, he told me a story. He said, "Chris, one of my salespeople said, 'John, I had a sighting this weekend.'" And I said, "What is a sighting?" Well, she saw a prospect at the soccer match, and she made eye contact with him across the pitch and waved, and the prospect saw her and waved back. That's a sighting, and that's what we're calling it. And that's calling exactly what you did as a salesperson exactly what it was. When all you measure is the number of sales calls you make, you get an inaccurate view of what it is you're really doing. Making sales calls becomes the objective instead of making sales. When you quit counting sales calls, you can start counting the things that count. You do a lot of things to get in position to make a proposal and close a sale. I like the idea of looking at all of these tasks you perform as outputs. Not all of your outputs have the same value, although they might all be very necessary. Let's look at some of the possible outputs, label them, and then adapt these truth and sales labeling ideas, and you'll never again call anything you do simply a sales call. All right, first there's a seed. You can send an article. You could email it. It's a little more effective by snail mail, but either one. 2, you can send an introductory letter or a thank you note by snail mail. Those count. 2 weeks ago, I emailed a copy of The Accidental Sales Manager to a prospect here in Chattanooga. I included an introductory letter along with it. And then a week later, I dialed the phone. So now I've recorded a seed, a letter, and a dial. I dialed the phone, but I got the receptionist. The prospect was in a meeting. So all I can record is a dial. So when you dial the phone, but end up leaving a message or a voicemail, that's a dial. If you get put through to the person you're dialing, or if that person picks up his or her phone, or you call the cell phone, you now have a contact. You can have a dial without a contact, but you can't have a contact without a dial unless you're out there knocking on doors. In my case, the prospect called me back 2 days later. So now I have a seed, a letter, a dial, and a contact. I'm working on the first meeting. You got to book the first meeting. If you dial the phone and you contact the person you want to talk with and book the appointment, you can count one appointment booked. You got that appointment, we call that a first meeting, and when you book that first meeting, you count one meeting booked. But then you've got to hold the first meeting. Now you may have a first meeting and then set up the next meeting, a discovery meeting, needs analysis meeting for the following week or next day. In that case, you just count it as a first meeting. But if you book the next meeting, you could call it a book discovery meeting. And then you go do the discovery meeting. And all that's left to do is write the proposal. That's an output. And then you've got to figure out how to make that proposal, deliver it in person, face-to-face if possible, on Zoom, by phone, but don't just email it. And only then can you ask for the business and confirm the order. That's what the sales process looks like. A lot of outputs or new business moves in order leading to the result you're looking for, a sale. At the end of the day, you can count all of your outputs. Your day may go like this one. You send out 5 seeds, you write 1 letter, you dial the phone 5 times, you make 1 contact, book a first meeting, and then you meet in person with 2 prospects and a current client you're trying to upsell. One of those prospect meetings is a first meeting. You didn't find a problem to solve, but you did schedule a discovery meeting for the following week. You have 1 discovery meeting with a new prospect, and finally you make a proposal when you ask your current customer to buy more in order to realize his or her objectives. and you close on that. What a day. You had 19 different outputs. You didn't make 19 different sales calls, but you can look back and feel good about what really happened. And that's axiom number 5. Call what you do exactly what it is. Having an accurate view of what you are really doing, what your outputs really are, is a powerful success force. By counting the things that count, you establish ratios to make the right decisions about the activities you need to do more of and need to do less of. Now, when I say ratios, I simply mean if you dial the phone 5 times and made 1 contact, then you're getting 20% of your calls taken. If you get 5 calls taken and book 2 meetings, then 40% of your calls taken are turning into first meetings, and so on, and so on, and so on. That's how selling really works. Chris Lytle, thanks for being part of Instant Sales Training. Had any sightings this week? Talk soon.